I typed in Gmail. So like if we see this post right here, we see, okay, it's probably in the comments. This person dropped their Gmail, Amanda. And so like the big thing with the buyers list is like getting as many eyeballs as possible to see our deals. So this is going to be like just a quick, easy way to like beef up that buyers list, get like a lot of contacts in a real short period of time. And then obviously, like if you keep scrolling through, you see stuff like this, just another post from a wholesaler, 22 comments on that. And boom, we got another Gmail. Now, from my experience, though, like the best thing to be grabbing is always going to be the phone number, because as time grows and you know the marketing budgets grow for you guys, like the best way to dispo a property is to like text blast it. You know, email is cool, like we'll capture emails too, but like really, I personally really don't do any email marketing. You know, my whole play on the dispo is use services. I create one text, just some details about the property, click send, and boom, it gets sent out to literally everybody on my buyers list. So if I was back in, let me turn down this fan. It just got really loud for some reason.
Eric, I sent you the screenshots to your email because it won't let me put it in Zoom chat because it said you blocked it, files being sent. So if you want, you can share that as well.
Yeah, I don't know why it does that. All right, give me just 1 second. Hold on 1 second.
Yep, no problem.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so the other thing too, so same thing, like if we come to the search bar on these groups and I click on the search, what you could do is type in phone area code. So like a big one down here in Tampa is 727. So if I were to type in 727, same deal, it's just going to be populating posts where that area code was. So the big thing, and this is all in the course, so like I don't want to get too crazy into this, but like you just got to remember it's always about the eyeballs, but we're not necessarily like only looking for cash buyers, and I think that's like a big misconception. Like I still want to be capturing agent contact info and other wholesalers too. So like as you're going through these posts and you guys are building out your buyers list and segmenting these people off, just try and like, you don't got to get like too crazy about it. But just like kind of like give it your best guess based on their post. So like this dude, Brendan, he said off-market rentals, nothing about being licensed or anything. So like my guess, he's probably a wholesaler. So I just take his contact info, take his name, and throw him in as a wholesaler on my list. Another one needs some advice. Me and my partner are looking to rent for over 6 months now. I don't know if they're an investor. You'd have to read the whole story, but realtors, look at the comments. You might find a bunch of agents, and we're just going to be taking all this contact info, cash buyers, wholesalers, and real estate agents, and throwing them on a spreadsheet, throwing them into their own individual list. And so if you do something like this, like you can literally do it on your phone. And if you spend like 15, 20 minutes a day, there's no reason why you can't have 200 plus contacts within a week to maybe 2 weeks tops. Does anybody have any questions on that? You guys can just like unmute or put it in the chat, whatever you're feeling.
So this is on Facebook Marketplace, or?
This is in Facebook groups, Greg. So like if you just...
Oh, okay, just groups.
Yeah. So if you just... if you know, obviously a lot of these groups, they're going to make you like apply, which is like just answer 3 questions and then they approve you.
Right.
Yeah, like once you're in the group, just the search bar on the group page and then phone area codes and then Gmails.
All right, I got a question.
Yeah, what's up, Joseph?
You know how you get all these phone calls, people wanting to buy your house and all that stuff? Could you sell to them too?
Yeah, those most likely are wholesalers too. So yeah, you could save their contact info. Definitely. And then, you know, keep in mind too with like Facebook, the obvious, right? So like I could make posts like, hey, I got some really good wholesale deals coming up. I'm looking for cash buyers, and then people will reach out to you. or you literally can just DM people like, hey, came across your post, are you an active investor? Stuff like that. So this isn't going to be like, you're getting like the hottest seasoned investors in your market, but you are getting a lot of eyeballs, and that's going to be really important. Before we continue, any other questions on this? No, all makes sense. All right. Let's see here. So let's cover maybe like 2 ways to get some like seasoned people. Now, one thing I just want you guys to keep in mind is I keep telling you guys, like, it's about the amount of eyeballs, and that's truly because like the top wholesalers in any market are the ones that are disposition heavy, so they have a lot of power with selling deals, which ultimately just comes down to the eyeballs. The other thing too, just to like kind of keep in mind, the reason I say we want to be collecting the contact info for other wholesalers and other agents and whatnot is because like if we can't do if we're like failing to sell our wholesale deal, like we blasted it out to all our cash buyers and we just don't have anybody, well, then we have an opportunity to do a joint venture, right? So at that point, I would then market the deal to the other wholesalers and agents saying, hey, I need help finding a buyer. If you have somebody, let's partner up. And just like what I think is cool little perspective with that too, it's like if you think about it, one wholesaler, I got Greg as a wholesale contact. Well, he's actually more than just one contact, right? Because he's one person in my contact, but he's got maybe 50 cash buyers. Or Tom, the other wholesaler, he's got 100 cash buyers, and Eric, he's got 1,000 cash buyers. Does that kind of make sense? So like, it's connecting with these wholesalers and these agents, it's a good backup when we can't move it with our normal cash buyers, but it's also access just to like way more people. And then what happens too, like over time, early in the game, like it's real common to be doing joint ventures, like, hey, John, the wholesaler, can you help me find a buyer? And then they do. But what happens is you're going to end up like capturing that buyer's contact info. So like over time too, your buyer's list is going to be developing just by doing deals with other wholesalers. Does that make sense? All right. The other thing too, there's so much I could say on this. Last thing, and then we'll go back to the strategy. So, lose my train of thought. What was I going to tell you? Oh no. Oh, I was going to say, one thing to keep in mind too is you're going to do like a lot of deals where I consider it like swing the bat, right? So there's going to be like a lot of opportunity that pops up where like the numbers are just kind of like tight. Like our MAO, the max allowable cash offer, was like 70, and the seller's not willing to budge on 80, so it's like the numbers are really, really tight and we're swinging the bat on it. And so like most wholesalers, a lot of them, they're doing deals where like the numbers are super tight, not really going to make sense to the season guide, and they flop on the deal. But you'll be able to pull off a lot of more of these swing the bat opportunities as your buyers list kind of develops. And like we have a lot of contacts. If you have a lot of eyeballs, then these deals, like I do we've done so many deals where my pool of like seasoned investors, these guys that like, this is all they do, eat, sleep, breathe real estate, they're not going to touch it. Like, no, I'm not doing a 50K rehab for a $20,000 profit. That doesn't make sense. But because I have so many eyeballs on my buyers list, you'll find the people that aren't as seasoned and they're like, yeah, I can make 20,000 on this house. I'll do it. But the seasoned guy wouldn't. You know what I mean? And you're only going to be able to pull these types of deals off, these swing the bat deals, when you have a lot of eyeballs on the buyers list. So just keep that in mind. Don't ever think like, oh, I got 50 cash buyers, that's enough, because that's not enough. I say like 200 minimum contact-wise just to like get the game going. But again, if you just did like Facebook, you'd have 200 literally within 1 week, spending 30 minutes a day. It takes no time at all. So anybody have any questions on that?
Yeah, Eric, as you're developing your list, you reach out to everybody on your list first, get to know them, kind of build a rapport, or you just send out a blast saying, hey, cash buyers, what's your approach to making first contact with these guys instead of, spamming them?
That's a good question. Normally what I say is like it's up to you. It's kind of like preference. Here's a buyer calling me right now. What I would say is like on the Facebook thing, like their info is literally out on the internet. So like, all right, I'm just, for the sake of time, I'm just going to start stacking the contact info. These next two strategies though, their information isn't just like out on a Facebook group. And so like I would value reaching out to them, seeing if they actually are actively investing, tell them a little bit about you, and then put them onto the buyers list if they're cool with that. But for the sake of Facebook, this is just going to be like a jump start, and at that point, it's like preference. If you want to email them, cool. You want to call them, cool. But it's just going to take a lot more time. And they're the ones that put the contact info on the internet. So, so kind of like preference. Dom had a question real quick. He said, do you send email blasts to buyers or call them individually with the home? I text blast them. So in the course, I go over like email, like how to set all that up. That's in the V1 in the dispo section, how to set up like email campaigns and whatnot. But personally, I just rock on the SMS.
Also, like if you're doing these text blasts, there's one company that's called Down My Calls that doesn't give you any troubles with doing the text blast. Because there's a bunch of companies out there that will just waste your money if they do refunds and stuff like that, because they're implementing a bunch of crap bullshit pretty much with LLCs and stuff like that, making sure that your company is legit and stuff like that. So if you are texting out buyers, use their software for that.
Yeah, SMS, they've tightened down a lot.
Everywhere, July. In fact, because you will never get the damn job.
What I would say too, guys, is for anybody that has like a tight budget or no budget at all, obviously SMS is going to cost money to pull that off. You guys could do, like I didn't have any money starting this, and so I used to do the email, and there's course videos on it, like I said, but it's called GMass, and I think they have a free version, and then they have like maybe $20 a month, and you could send thousands of emails out and blast it out really, really easily. So I would check out those videos in the course. Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's go into, I'm going to show you guys the way to try and get a couple seasoned people. So if I come into my market here in Tampa, what I would do is just kind of like draw your general area. So I cover pretty much all this. And if I go into the for sale, and what we're going to do is I'm going to start on the for sale by owners, just like this. Just make sure you deselect the foreclosures, auctions, even like the new construction, I'd say, is optional. You can leave that on if you want to. And so if we see 90 results came back, and so this is, don't think you're going to be building like a list of hundreds of people, but we are going to get like the seasoned investors, like the real deal fix and flippers, like this is all they do. And so all you're going to be doing is spending some time going through these. It takes a lot of time, but even if you got 10 over the course of 2 or 3 days, that's still really good. And so you're just going to be opening up the properties, looking for fix and flips. Easy way to kind of spot it. How's the outside look? And then take a glance on the inside. Does it look, empty or staged? And does it look updated? Something like this, hard to tell. The kitchen doesn't look like it's totally brand new, although it does look fair. But this could be hit or miss. And so I would just call this person up. And if you guys want, I could drop the script, the buyer script for these types of calls in the general chat for you guys. But it's a simple combo. It's just, hey, came across the house on Arbor Street. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, I'm not interested in buying it. I wanted to ask if you're an active investor. Yeah, this was a flip for us. Awesome. I'm an active wholesaler. I get a lot of good deals. Can I send you some stuff in the future? Yeah, that sounds great, man. If they're an active investor, they're going to be totally down to work with you as a wholesaler. Now, some of them might have a bad taste in their mouth from wholesalers, because most wholesalers, I'd say 90% of wholesalers at least, lock up absolute garbage. they're locking up deals where there's no money to be made. And so like maybe you'll come across somebody that's like, no, I don't deal with wholesalers no more. And you just got to tell them like, look, I sent real deals. I'm not going to be sending you garbage. And they'll be like, all right. But that shouldn't happen too often. So again, you're just going through the for sale by owners. If a lot of stuff comes back on the for sale by owner side, you could do a minimum price filter, and that'll kind of get some of the beat up homes out of the search, right? And you'll kind of be looking at some of the higher end stuff. But again, you're just going through, click through the photos, look for stuff that was fully updated, and then call them. And you can literally just read the script word for word. Came across the house on John Vista. Are you an active investor? Yes, I am. Awesome. I'm a wholesaler. Can I send you deals in the future? And most of them are going to be cool. Like this looks like a flip or something staged, maybe, possibly. And that's it. Any questions on this?
Yeah, what do you do if the actual homeowner answers the call?
If what? It's just a homeowner?
Yeah, it's my house. I'm trying to sell it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just looking to connect with investors. Sorry about that. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep it light. Nothing crazy. Any other questions you guys got on that? Before I show you one more? No, we're feeling good. Have that sent too if you want to take a look at it. Yeah, we'll do after this, guys. We'll do some deals. We'll do Q&A, all that fun stuff. I'm gonna share one more with you guys. So this is gonna be a paid strategy. Really, it's not really gonna cost you much at all. But if you're on like Auto Leads, PropWire, and PropWire might be free. Batch Leads, stuff like that. PropStream. Same deal.
Also that free one that forgot that free service that some people use.
Oh, it's gonna be
what I'm talking about?
property data, not skip trace.
That free service, remember that costs like nothing. It was that, like something with phone numbers and it backtraces it. Forgot. Like
I don't remember.
think of it.
Yeah,
I'll remember it. I'll remember it in a second.
All right, if you do, just pop in. So again, back at my market, all we're going to be doing is
True
going.
people search.
Yeah, but that's not property data.
That's for skip tracing, I meant.
Yeah. Most of these platforms, so like Auto Leads, it's I think $98 a month, and they'll give you 250 skip trace credits. So you pay $98 a month, and you could do this, or maybe check PropWire. That might be free off rip. I'm not 100% sure though. But anyways, so say we're on here, circle the market again. This time I'm going to go into ownership. And we're going to be going after corporate properties. So it's in an LLC most likely. And then you're going to go to cash buyer. And all these platforms, they have the same filters. And I type in cash buyer and we see 79,000 cash buyers in this market. That's a lot. And so you could do properties own to try and get the list down and try and get some more seasoned people. So if I do 10 properties own, we see 29,000 come back. Now, obviously in Tampa, there's a whole lot of commercial real estate. So I'm going to go on like single families because that's going to be the bulk. So it took us from 29,000 to 13,000. So the only filters we have are single family, cash buyer, and corporate owned. And so 13,000, like that's still a lot of real estate to go through. And so I would want to narrow that down even further. So if I went back into ownership info, I could do purchase date. And all the platforms have this, and I could do purchased in the last 12 months, right? And so it takes it from 13,000 to 527. So, I mean, that's a good list to start with. So, I mean, these are people, again, they have 10 or more properties. It's in an LLC, and they've purchased a cash property, paid cash for a property within the past 12 months. And so something like this on auto, you have 250 single skips. Boom, click that button. And I got all the phone numbers, and then I could just start calling these numbers. Hey, trying to get a hold of the owner of 1701 16th Ave South. Yeah, what do you want? I just want to reach out. Are you an active investor? And we know they are. They're like, yeah, what can I help you with? And then same spiel. You know, I'm just an active wholesaler. I provide really good deals in the area. If you'd like, I could send you some stuff in the future. Yeah, and most of them are going to be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. The cool thing too, I'll say this, and then I'll take some questions on this. The cool thing about auto leads is like you can really hone in and know for real that they're an investor. So if you look right here, guys, look, Link Properties, 40,000 properties. You probably ain't even going to get a hold of this person, but they got 11.5 billion in real estate, and open loans amount 7 trillion, which is ridiculous. Yeah, right. 7
I never seen that before.
trillion.
Yeah,
That's
the most I've seen on one person that was on my leads from our leads was like maybe like 200 million, and he answered the phone.
I've come across a few billion, and I think 7 trillion is the biggest.
I never
But
seen
you'll
that.
come across like insane. I mean, especially here. I mean, you're talking about like a massive hedge fund, BlackRock, owning something like this. What you could do, just so you don't waste time going through stuff like this, if you were back inside this, like if you're in a big city where there's like institutional buyers and whatnot, if I went back into advanced and then I went to I went back into cash buyers, I could do a max, right? And that would be smart to do. So I do maybe like a max of 20, and then boom, it's going to get those massive fish out of here. So, because you're not going to, on the skip trace, you're not going to get the right person on the phone. So something like this, Weekly Homes LLC, they have 9 properties, 2.6 million real estate. They're definitely an investor. Now I just got to get them on the phone, tell them I'm a wholesaler, and see if it's cool if I send them stuff. And if they're actively investing, 99% of these people are going to be totally down to have a convo and totally down for you to put them on their buyers list. You know, finding deals is when you're not wholesaling, finding deals is like another job, really. So if you could send them stuff, they'd love that. Any questions, I guess, on this? That all makes sense? All this is in the course too, guys. So you guys have access to this. And I think if you guys go into not the Mastermind V1, but if you go into the original course, I think there's even like other strategies that I covered in there too. The ghost ad, like Adam's talking about. All right.
Between auto leads and which do you prefer, and what benefits do you like?
I'm a little biased because I built auto leads, but I would say what's cool about auto is like the property. So like just how it showed like their portfolio, no other platform has that. We have a recently passed an inheritance filter, which tends to be more accurate. There's like wholesale calculators, and then you could use it as a CRM too. And then obviously like the AI calling, that's the highlight to it. But I'd say like not to be biased, but I guess on the flip side, you know, the nice part about batch leads and PropStream is they have like an age filter. So if you're pulling like large chunks of data, I love pulling, you know, tired landlords, and maybe they're getting closer to retirement. And so like auto, you just don't have that filter. So there's really like there's benefits to both of them. I've used batch and PropStream literally my entire journey until I built auto, but the whole idea, obviously, with auto was trying to make it a little better. So I like auto a lot.
I like auto as well. The reason for it is because with batch, you have to hire VA. You have to have hire VAs, but you have to dial the stuff yourself, right? We could pay the VA like $3-4 an hour, right? But it takes a lot longer, and it like for them to even give me like one of the leads that was trash that pulled the auto pulled right with it. Took them like 2 days on working the dialer, right? So like it just also saves time.
Yeah, it'll do 2,400 phone calls a minute and just have that whole combo.
Over a 3-day span as well.
It rips. Dom, I see your question. Can I get you a discount? I built it, but then I sold it, so I'm already out of that. So I'm out of that company, but so unfortunately not. But they do have a 3-day, or I'm sorry, I think a week or a 2-week trial, something like that. So you can get in there, spend no money, and and dabble with it. That's with all the platforms. They all do free trials. So, all right. Any other questions, I guess, on buyers list or any general questions you guys got before we do some deals?
You have another one. When we're a little bit further down the line, how do you find your transaction coordinator? Or who do you go through for that?
Actually, I have that in the course too, in the Mastermind V1, how to facilitate
Okay.
that.
Okay.
I would like to be honest, like there's companies obviously that do TC that they coordinate the whole transaction. My honest opinion, it's so easy to do, and like you'll learn a lot just by doing it. You know, you'll see all in the course videos how simple it is. Like, okay, I got my contract, I found a buyer. Great. I'm going to call a title company up. Hey, do you guys do assignments? Yes, we do. Awesome. And you're just going to email the assignment, the purchase contract over to the title company and let them do their job. You know, at that point, all you're doing is like following up with them just to make sure the deal is going to close on time. But you'll learn a lot just going through that process. And it's really not that it takes no time at all. So I wouldn't look to hire a TC until like you have more deals than you could even keep up with.
Okay. Another question. I follow another group, and there's kind of been some pushback or muddy waters in regards to trusts, and especially trust with VAs in it. What are your feelings on using a trust versus an LLC for displaying like a sub 2 or something?
What do you mean dispoing a sub 2?
Well, I mean getting it in contract with the seller, because there's been some talk about issues with the banks being able to pierce the trust because it may or may not be legal, and it's still a kind of a gray area everybody's trying to work out, and there's just been some questions raised. So
I think I know where you're coming from with that. Are you talking about the whole setup? Like, hey, we'll put the trust in the seller's name and then assign it down the road?
Yeah, usually like a 90-10, owner seller has 10%.
Yeah, that's just like, I personally am not a fan of that. I think that's a little sketchy. I'll buy real estate and trust, but you're going to close on it and take full ownership of it. If you try and play that card of like, oh, we'll leave the seller at 10%. Yeah. There's I don't think Lenny's here, but he was a banker for like 30 years, and even he told you guys like a while back, like that's just sketchy. Stay away from that. I know exactly who you're talking about too, so I don't recommend that at all.
Okay.
What they do in that group, I'll just say
Adam was in there. So.
They're a bunch of clowns. In my opinion. They're a bunch of clowns that are teenagers that don't know what the hell they're doing. And they have huge egos using their group for clout on TikTok for getting more money every single monthly. Because they really don't close real deals. They close shit that no one else really wants. Some deals they have real that actually good, but just a goddamn kiddie playground. And I'll just say that much about them.
All right. Yeah, you'll leave it at that. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, Jason. I would stay away from that. It's just you're waiting to get in trouble.
Okay, so that aside, what about like LLCs, using LLCs for sub 2?
Say that again?
What about like using an LLC to house a sub 2?
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but you could use the trust, but don't try and play that game with the bank. Like, yo, we're gonna leave the seller at 10% equity on the trust. That way, the due on sale can't get triggered. Like that's just sketchy. I would not do that whatsoever. So, I buy a lot of real estate and put it in its own individual trust, but I'm full controller, 100% trustee and beneficiary of that trust. So
how does that protect it from due on sale?
It doesn't. Both of those don't. You're going to be looked at as you do. I'm not going to drop names, but you know who I'm talking about. You do it that way, you're literally like on the verge of like bank fraud. Like, don't do that at all. And it's just a matter of time until that house of cards collapses on who. So like let's talk about this just real quick and then we'll get into the deals. What a lot of people don't realize is like, all right, the due on sale clause. For those of you guys that don't know, when we do a subject to deal, I get full ownership of that property. but the mortgage stays in the seller's name, right? That's the whole subject to piece. And so, like, where a lot of people get hung up is the due on sale clause. That's just a clause in every single mortgage stating that if the deed transfers, the bank has the option to call that note due. Does that all make sense? Anybody have any questions so far on that? Right? So the hang up becomes that, like, oh, but I want to just kind of like paint a picture. I'm going to share a few things on this. So one, the bank isn't in the business of buying real estate. You know, any banker you could ask them, there's a performing loan list and a non-performing loan list, or a performing and non-performing, you know, side of things in with these banks, right? So if you're making the payments on time, they could see the deed transfer, but why are they going to go foreclose on you? You're making the payments every single month. They don't want the real estate. They're making money off of the loan. Does that make sense? So like the odds are already very, very low. The other thing too, I'm sure a lot of you guys know Pace Morby. I've done a lot of different things with him. Really awesome dude, most experienced in this game. 4,000 something deeds subject to. You know how many he's had called due? 4 or 5. Do you know how many they actually foreclosed on? 0. This is what people don't realize. They might, out of 4,000, they called 4 or 5 of them due. But when they call it due, that doesn't mean they're foreclosing on you. They want to know what happens. And 3 or 4 out of the 5, they said, oh, we just want to be aware of what's actually going on. Oh, I bought it subject to the property. I'm the one making the payments. Oh, okay. They don't want to foreclose and get all this stuff going. That's a waste of time. If you stop making the payments, yeah, they might want to pursue that. The other thing too is for the one, he told me this, the one that was not cool with it. They're like, no, we don't want to have this continue. They still didn't call it due. They recommended him to turn it back. So transfer the deed back to the original seller, and then structure it as an agreement for deed. So like people hear the due on sale and they like freak out about it, but the bank, they don't want the real estate back. And worst thing that could possibly happen is we restructure to an agreement for deed. No big deal. And if you do agreement for deed, and I'll touch on this real quick for you guys. If you do an agreement for deed from the get, we do it right out the gate, then it becomes impossible for the due on sale to ever get triggered, because the agreement for deed, just think of it like any deal subject to seller finance. Agreement for deed just means I get full ownership of the home. I can do whatever I want with it, but the deed stays in your name until I pay you off in full, pay the debt off in full. Does that make sense? So if the deed remains in the seller's name, even though I have full possession, the rights to it on paper, the deed never transfers. So therefore, the due on sale could never get triggered. So like you can close on the subject to, many people put it in their personal name, LLC, whatever, however you want to buy the property, but like I wouldn't freak out about it. Like, all right, they call it due, they're probably just going to try and figure out who's making the payments. And if they did get super crazy about it, like, no, we want the money back, then great. I spend $15, put the deed back in the seller's name, and everything's good. Now it all disappears, and I still have that property.
So with the agreement for deed as well as the trust, you as the buyer, let's say, would still have all the tax benefits, appreciation, depreciation with that property?
Say that. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
I said, so with both the trust method as well as the agreement for deed, you would still have, the tax benefits of owning the property?
No. So you only get the tax. You can only depreciate the real estate when you have the deed to the property. That's the only downside to the agreement for deed.
And that applies to the trust as well?
Well, just think of like a trust is like, all right, I'm going to put the property in a trust, so the deed transferred. I'm going to put the house in an LLC, so the deed transferred. So if the deed transfers, no matter where it transfers to, you have those tax benefits. But if the deed does not transfer and the deed remains in that seller's name, then you don't get the tax benefits.
Okay.
Getting kind of deep. I like it. Any other questions on this stuff? Or I guess any general questions before we do some deals?
Did y'all talk about recapture? If you were to sell it, anytime before that 27.5 years?
Yeah, so like if we could touch on that briefly. You love the tax stuff, John. So if you depreciate a property and then you sell it, you're going to be paying recapture tax on it unless like you 1031 or you just keep holding it and refinancing it to strip cash out of it. So just keep that in mind. Like not every property you want to force depreciation on.
Yeah, that's what caught me off guard like 2 weeks ago. I was like, wait, what? Completely changed the way that I was going to start investing.
Yeah.
So on the schedule too, if you can't find somebody to rent it out to or flip it to, are you entitled to that mortgage payment?
Say that one more time, Joe.
On the schedule too, if you find the house, you do the schedule 2 and it's yours, and you can't find somebody to rent it out or flip the house and sell it to,
I'm with
are
you.
you responsible for that mortgage payment?
Yes and no. So like, we always want to set these up to be in the best interest for us to a degree, right? So like when we do a deal, especially like early on, say just like new, we're chasing our first deal or whatever, we'll contract that property, but we're not going to like close on it or make any payment until like we have a tenant locked in place. And that's just like, that's my recommendation for your security, really. So like, if you couldn't find a tenant, then great, we just terminate the contract, we walk away, and we're not tied to it. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
The other nice part too is like, for me, I had no money starting out, like at all. And so a lot of these deals in the beginning, I didn't even have like 0 down deals, but I didn't even have the money for the closing cost. And so like in the beginning, I would do a lot of these deals as an agreement for deed. That way there's no closing cost. And then I can start acquiring these properties. And so the nice part about doing agreement for deeds is, if you stop making a payment and if you close on a property and you stop making a payment, well, then you might be getting foreclosed on. But if you do an agreement for deed, it's impossible to get foreclosed on because that deed never transferred. Does that make sense? Because that deed stays in that seller's name. So if I stop making the payments, that agreement is just torn up and we go our separate ways. So the agreement for deed's good in the beginning because 1, there's no closing cost, and 2, you just have a lot of protection behind that. If something goes south, you're not for lack of better terms, totally screwed on it.
Okay, it's just going to be more and more.
Yeah. So a lot of benefits to it. All right. You guys have, Angelique, you got a question?
Yeah, one question. I need to brush up on the training. I know it might be in there, but all the different ways, if I'm out of state investing, all the different ways to look at a neighborhood besides and look at crime grades. Are there any other ways I should be investigating an area, a new area?
You can do Spot Crime is a website. Have you checked that one out?
In the past, I have. I can use that one too. And I think the other one was crime grades. I was looking at today that I found.
I never seen that one. To be honest, like I've just like always known my market, so I haven't really had to do too much research on to that extent. The big thing too, like if I don't know. Like one thing you could do is go on like Street View, kind of get like a vibe for the neighborhood. If it's a specific neighborhood, go on Google Street View, kind of look around and how does it look? Like would I walk around here at night? Then Spot Crime. Then you could go on like Zillow, see if there's other rentals and kind of like get an idea of the condition. Like, all right, is this like D class rentals or is there some nice stuff? There's granite countertops in the kitchens and all that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's kind of what I'm doing. AI steered me in the wrong direction today. So I was kind of bummed because they gave me some zip codes that I looked up later that were like DF. But glad I looked. But what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. I lost my thought.
The best way you can do that is you go right in there and you start talking to other investors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta,
Yeah.
like, we found out, like, with East Cleveland, it's horrible. You know what I mean? You can buy 50 properties for $4, but there's a reason why.
Yeah.
But we learned that the hard way. So you gotta, you know what I mean? Like, start talking to people, realtors. If you ask realtors, what do you think of that area?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll point you in the right direction, and other investors will too.
Okay. Some of them do. Some of them don't feel like they're free to share. Like those are their zip codes. But I know Property Management Group has shared some with me, which is great. But sometimes, usually, they get the top that are really expensive. But none of the tools like PropStream or any of those will give the neighborhood grade. None of them list that anywhere.
Not that I know of. Yeah.
Okay.
What market are you in?
I'm going to look. I'm in Northern California, so I'm investing a little bit here, but I want to go out of state. So I was thinking of Missouri.
I could if you go inside the general chat in the Discord, if you type in Grant Rubino, he's over there, and he could probably give you some advice. Okay. What you could do too, I don't know if you checked this out yet, but inside the Discord, if you see this, you can go inside the state chat, and then you can connect other people in the group too.
I looked in there the other day.
Yeah, there's some people in there.
If there was any zip codes or any information people were giving,
Yeah, and then have you checked the buyers network too?
No, I didn't look in there.
I don't know if there's anybody over there, but you could always dabble with that too.
Areas.
What's that?
Is she looking to see like how the crime is around that area?
Yeah, good neighborhoods, decent neighborhoods to buy in.
Well, most of the time, if you're on Zillow, I would look at the school scores.
Okay.
Anything under like 4 or 5, then most likely is a little bit of crime. But you try to go like above that, the school scores.
Okay.
Usually is not that much crime, because a lot of people, believe it or not, when they're looking for houses,
yeah,
the traditional way, they look at the school scores.
Okay, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Also, I forgot what was it. One app that Jay always uses. Remember that Spot My Crime or whatever, that area? Forgot.
Yeah, Spot Crime.
Yeah, that you can also use that app, right? Like, one murder here and there. Like my area had like a murder maybe like 5 or 6 blocks away, but I live in a good area, right? So like, if it's like a lot of like crime and stuff like that, then like of course there'll be people getting shot or something like that a mile away, whatever way, because how the world is, right? But it's not like, okay, you live in a bad area, right? You can also look at like how the street view is, right? Just based off of that, like I looked at some areas like in PA, or you can look at like I looked at the street view. House is worth $380,000, and the whole area looks like a damn slumlord. Like it looks like someone would get shot down the street. Like in one area in Michigan, I forgot who brought up. Remember that area with a gate, right, with barbed wire on it? Remember, Eric? A long time ago, I was like, bro, I would even walk down that street, right?
It was Samir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's we got a little bit of time left, so let's do a little bit of deal help. Let's, for the sake of time, because I want to make sure we can help everybody, let's do deals that you guys are already working on. So like either you need help running the numbers, or it's just like already going, not just random stuff. If we got enough time after, I'm willing to look at random stuff with you guys. So let's do that, and then hopefully we got some more time to do a little bit of Q&A too.
Let's attack my my duplexes.
I'm with you. Let me just work through this queue, and I got you.
Yep.
And Jason, you got some big stuff, man.
Man, you know what? It takes about almost the same amount of time, man.
I like it though. All righty. Murph, what's up with this one, man? And welcome in. I know you're new to the group. Murph, you with us? No? And I see a few of you guys in the chat too asking about the Discord. I just posted it at 4:23, the link. So if you guys aren't in the group, hop on in there. All right, I think he might have slipped away.
He was looking at it with me, and isn't on market rate for buyers, but there's no picture on the interior, so he wanted pretty much your advice to see like
Okay.
what that thing could probably be, ARV and stuff like that.
This one's really steep. I've had real estate on Jordan Street. I'd give it a 220 ARV, maybe 240 max.
Yeah.
So Adam, if you work, I'll do it. Even if you got lucky at 240, which that might be stretching it, but if it was, times 27, 168.
130 probably.
Even lower, like 120 cash offer. So this is just going to, I would pass on this because the numbers are just too far apart. If you wanted to call them and offer Murph just to get some practice in, you could, but I think it's going to be too tight. I don't think they'll take that.
Do you think it's bad inside? Because on the outside it looks like.
Yeah, it looks, I'm sure it's rough. Everything's kind of rough over there.
Why did they put it at such a high price? I think they just, I don't know. There's something else. I was like, that thing just seems high. I was like, I don't know the interior, so I was like, I have no clue what this thing could probably be in rehab.
Yeah. Ace, I'm trying to open up the one you got on Green Drive. It's just the link's not working. Actually, hold on. And is it cool if I share this with everybody or no? Do you want to keep it private? Ace, you with us?
Don't matter.
All right. I'll share it with the group then if that's cool. Hopefully we could all trust each other. All right. What's the story on this one?
I'm trying to remember. I sent you that so long ago.
It looks beat up. Do you have an ARV on it?
Mm-mm.
Try and run some numbers then. Just give it your best guess on ARV and updates, and then if you want to, ping it in the chat again, and then I can review that with you.
Got it.
Alrighty, let's do next in the queue. All right, Jerry Carpenter, we're supposed to be closing this, right?
Yeah, so I called the title company again today. I told them I wanted everything done, but I guess they're saying that, I mean, it's kind of weird because the first time I called them, the title company said that it was legal and that the buyer needed to, or the seller needed to know that I was wholesaling it with this buyer. So I called them up again today, and now they're telling me that I guess it's a company policy and that they need to do it that way. I don't know. But
man,
it just kind of sucks. So now I know never to use them again. But
we're trying to close this out this week.
Yeah. So I mean, we could go to the route of, I guess, just letting him know, and then I could write up the contract with all three of us. But I mean, he's gonna know we're getting a fee on it.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Let me call them up. What's their number? I'll just try and I'll try and talk them into something. And Adrian, he signed the price addendum, right?
Yeah, everything signed, and even the buyer was like, "Yeah, that's horrible." And then they said that regardless of, I guess they could do it at close, or I don't know. But the buyer was kind of cool about it. But he's also very happy that it's taking too long. So the number is 216-373-9900.
calling Ohio Road Funeral. This is Anna. How may I help you?
Hey, my name's Sarah. You guys are closing out a deal for us on 6204 Carpenter Ave with my partner Jerry.
Okay.
He was. This is his first deal, so I think we were just a little confused. He was saying like we need contracts signed by both parties or something funny.
What? I'm sorry, sir. What was your name again?
My name's Eric.
And Eric, I don't see your name on this file. Who are you again?
I'm just Jerry's silent partner. He's right here with me.
Okay, let me get you over to Patty. Hold on, please.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll see what we can do on this. We'll make it happen.
She may be on another call. Can I put you through to her voicemail and she'll get back to you as soon as she's free?
Yeah, that's fine.
It might be today, it might be tomorrow. I'm not really sure. We close at 5, okay?
All righty. I'll leave her a voicemail. Let's see.
Can't take your call now. To place a call to the subscriber's operator, press 0. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, simply hang up or press pound for further options.
Hey, Patty. You guys are closing out our property on 6204 Carpenter Ave. Hopefully we can get that done this week. I just got a couple of questions. I think there's some confusion. So just give me a call back when you can at this number. Thank you. All right. Jerry, if we don't get her, let's just call her again tomorrow. It's all done, right? So, I mean, we could probably close Thursday or Friday if I could hash out these little issues with them.
Yeah, I mean, everything was set to close today. Like everything, title told us they're done. You know, the buyer's cool with it. I mean, everybody's on board, but it's just that one thing, I guess, that they want.
Yeah, that's frustrating. All right.
I don't even know what to tell the buyer.
Just be like, they're having a little issues. We're going to try and get it done this week for sure.
All right.
He's not going to go anywhere. I wouldn't. He might be a little annoyed, but I wouldn't stress too much. Kayomi, I see your DM to me with that deal we were talking about. If you want to put the link in the chat, I'm happy to help you with it. Anybody that needs help with deals, you guys can put the stuff in the chat.
Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and drop it right now.
My bad. I see it. Sorry.
That's okay. And it's Kamoy, by the way.
Say it again?
Kamoy.
Kamoy, okay. I'm so bad with names. I apologize.
It's okay. Me too. It's all right.
What's the story on this one?
So it's my first deal in the States. I'm hoping to live in it if it's possible. Even if there's no creative finance option, I'm hoping to do whatever we can, to get me in there. I did look at it over the weekend. The family's just hoping to downsize. It's priced really well for the area as well, at about the median-ish in that community. What else? Oh, my mom did. Thank you. She got the ball rolling, and she kind of is speaking to a lender. So yeah, that's where we're at. But I told her to hold off on that.
All right. So is getting a loan kind of an option?
It is an option, but if we can avoid it, I'd prefer to do that.
Absolutely, definitely. Let's take a quick look. Let's see if they still have a mortgage on this.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few ideas though.
Okay.
If we could pull this one off, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Are you in Florida now, or?
Yeah, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Tamarack area. Been here for about 2 years.
Cool. All right, so they have a little mortgage, so they owe $129,000, not a lot.
Oh, cool.
So we would have to ask them for seller finance. Obviously we can get them to seller finance like a lot of that. Then we could put it together that way. If they're like, we need money down, and they're only willing to seller finance a little bit of the purchase price, then there would be an option. Like if you got just another creative strategy, you can get a loan for the property. So say say you guys were able to get like an FHA loan, then the seller would only have to seller finance only like 10% of the purchase, and then you guys would get the house with nothing out of pocket.
Oh, that'll be ideal.
We got some options here. Let me give them a call and I'll kind of feel them out, see what they would be open to.
Okay, thank you. I'll be here on mute.
All righty.
William Torres.
Try him again. Send me the voicemail. Let's try him just one more time. Keep sending me a voicemail. All right, let's do this. Shoot him a text, the number here on Zillow, and just be like, "Hey, interested in however you see that street. When's a good time to talk?" And then if you want to ping me in the general chat in the Discord, I could try that later for you.
Okay, I've been here maybe 3 weeks the most. I haven't gotten a chance to hop on the Discord yet. Whenever I click the link, it keeps just rerouting me and saying error. But I got the proper link in the chat earlier, so I'll try that today and I'll send you a message.
Okay. Yeah, try. I just reposted it too. See, if you can try that now, anybody that's not in there, let me know, because there's obviously a lot going on in there. So.
Right. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. All righty. Let's keep rolling. Melanie, you with us?
I'm sorry, Eric, real quick. You said just to text them and ask about seller financing?
You could do that too. I was just going to say, like, hey, came across the house you have listed on blah, blah, blah street. Is it still for sale? And then what you could ask is, he's probably going to say, like, yeah, it's still for sale. Awesome. Would they consider seller financing? You could ask that too. If he says, maybe note this, if he says no, they don't want to do seller finance, then say, what if I did 90% down? And I guarantee they're going to say yes to that.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a good shot on this one.
All right, I'll start there. Thank you.
All righty. Melanie, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Am I saying your name right?
Yeah, Melanie.
All right. All right. What's let me pull that back up. What's up with this house?
So I talked to the seller yesterday, and well, I guess this owner's wife, and she said that he won't go any lower than 180. But my ARV, like when I look it up, is around like 250. So I just don't think 180 is gonna work. I just didn't know. It's fully gutted on the inside. Like she sent me the inside pictures, and it's literally just studs, like no walls or anything, but new roof and new windows.
Yeah. Do you know like the story with it? Like, were they gonna flip this or?
Yeah, they were gonna flip it, and they just don't have. They have like other properties. They don't have the time or the money to do it.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, we see they pay 124. Maybe they were in it for 160 today. Maybe. So they have equity. So there is room. Let's comp it out. What do you say you were getting for an ARV?
I was getting around 250. So, and I could be wrong.
Okay. Did they say anything about turning it into like a 3-bedroom or?
The only thing that they mentioned was that it is zoned for commercial and residential.
Okay. Oh yeah, you're right on that main road. Do you know what their plans were? Like, were they going to do a single family house or commercial?
They were going to do a house, but then they got it under contract with somebody else that was going to turn it into a restaurant. But then the city denied them because of some sort of licensing for oil, so they couldn't turn it into a restaurant, so the contract fell through. And they had it under contract for $205.
Wow, okay.
But she did say they would go 180, and I haven't given her any offer yet just because I wanted to kind of see somebody else's point of view on it.
This is good for everybody to see. Like, what kind of makes these tricky, this type of property being on a main road and also being commercial, is like if somebody buys this to do a fix and flip, then it's going to be hard to sell that to like a family. You know what I mean? Because like, who wants to live right on like basically a highway?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes it kind of like if you turn it into a single family house, then it kind of becomes a tough sale. And so like that's just automatically gonna make it a little tricky here. You know, your buyer pool, a lot of them, the seasoned people, will kind of be a little iffy unless they're into the commercial stuff and hey, we'll do something in their business or whatever. Yeah, and Okeechobee is somewhat rural, right? Are you out here or no?
No, I'm virtual. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. So I've been trying to like find a market that fits me that's virtual because it's like hard to wholesale out here.
I would say the buyer pool is also going to be really small over here.
Okay.
Do you have cash buyers here yet or no?
No, not really. I don't have any list yet.
My advice.
I have a few people's emails, but nobody that I've actually been in contact with.
Okay. My advice, to be honest, would be not to jump into this market. I think there's just not enough going on over here. So, like, it's not that there's not going to be deals, but for the few deals that we do get in this market, they're going to be tough to sell.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing. If you want, I can give you my opinion on this, or if you want, I could help you dial in and pick a good market.
That would be great, actually. I've been kind of struggling.
Okay. What I would say is, you kind of have like a few options. You're doing everything virtual. This market is just a little too small. I've looked at stuff there in the past too, and others in the group have tried to do stuff there. It just never works out. So like obviously my market here in Tampa and St. Pete is good, but it's a lot more competitive. A lot of people are looking over here. So like my recommendation would be like a smaller town, but where there's just like a lot of activity, a lot of stuff going on. So I'll give you like a few recommendations and then you can kind of pick one.
Okay.
So like obviously my market in Pennsylvania is really, really good. What I like about that market is it's not really like crazy competitive. The real estate is at really good prices and you're also like somewhat close to it too. So like what's nice is there's a lot of people, you said the Bronx, that's where you're at?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, yeah, New York. So you'll have like a lot of New York people investing over here. So the upside of that is like you're kind of speaking their language. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of get their vibe a little bit better. So that's an upside to it. The market specifically is Allentown.
Okay.
So Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton. And what I'll do for you, I'll make it easy. And this applies for anybody. I mean, if anybody's looking for a market, you guys could all take this advice and do the same stuff. What I'll do is I'm going to circle kind of the general area, and then you could always go back and screenshot it. That way you can kind of go back and copy it all.
If you want, I can combine the number and chat and stuff. Like you guys like want to look for beat up stuff in there, and Xander, me, and who else works in there?
Mike Brown too.
Yeah.
And have you been on Terrell Zooms at all?
All he does is wholesale. Terrell in the morning. Yeah.
No, I haven't yet. This is my first Zoom.
Okay. He does I've known him since like we were little kids. He worked at my office and now he just does everything on his own. But he's one of the leaders in the community. He does 3 Zooms a week. You can see the schedule inside the Discord.
Yeah.
And he's in this market too. And so like what's really cool is like if you're in this market, then you could hop on his Zooms and he'll like really be able to help you comp stuff out. And then the other thing too is like if you don't have a buyer for your deal, then he could always hook you up too and be like, all right, I got somebody for you.
Okay, that'd be great.
He knows his that buyers personally. He also helped me out on a couple of deals as well that I couldn't disclose in the beginning.
Yeah, Terrell's awesome, and he knows the market really well. So you could do this if you want to screenshot that. I'll just, because I'm sure there's multiple people on here right now trying to get a good market. So we'll talk about this one. We're all good? Got a screenshot or a photo?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll share a couple more with you.
How can I contact Terrell before the Zoom?
You could always ping him in the Discord. If you, let me do this for you. If you guys just go into the general chat in the Discord, I forget his name, but here he is. So he's right there in the general chat. You guys could always DM him or ping him in the chat.
Thank you. I just posted a link too for somewhere in Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah, we can take a look at it. Yeah, Terrell's awesome. Really solid dude and really good at all the wholesale stuff. He doesn't do any creative finance stuff on his Zooms. It's really just wholesale. And the nice part too is his Zooms are smaller than my Zooms. So like he could look at like a yeah, so he could really like answer a lot of questions, look at a lot of deals with you, all that good stuff. Little Rock, Arkansas is another good one. So you guys could always contact Grant. If you typed in like Grant Rubino or Grant R, you'll see him. Or if you type in Ryan, Rayyan, he'll pop up too. They're business partners. They're doing Little Rock, Arkansas and Atlanta. And so the nice part about Little Rock, not a whole lot of wholesalers, and there's a lot of money to be made. They've done multiple deals at this point in this market. So Little Rock, Arkansas, and Atlanta, Georgia, they're covering.
Did he close on the 25K deal that they had earlier? Or no, not yet.
I have no idea. They closed on, I think, one the other week.
I'm not sure what fee it was.
Then you guys also have like Akron, Ohio. Jerry and Rick, are you guys still here? Grant, yeah, Jerry and Rick, they're partnered up. You guys are covering Akron, right? Along with like Cleveland and all this. So if you guys are covering like Cleveland and Akron, you guys, if Jerry and Rick, you guys want to drop your contact info or Discord name, you guys can connect with Jerry and Rick too and do some deals with them in their market too. And that's obviously I can go on forever about all these different markets, but did anybody have any questions on that? And I see the one question in the chat. What was the guy's name? Ryan, but spelled Rayyan. That's his Discord name. And then Grant Rubino, just Grant. If you just do like Grant R, he'll pop up in the chat. You guys will see him. They're the ones that live Rock and Atlanta, Georgia.
I got a question about some markets.
Yeah, what's up, Derek?
What are you seeing as far as? Do you see more traction in a rural area or obviously like more urban area?
It's a great. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people ask me that. I would say when you're in like a big city, so like, all right, I'm in Tampa, Florida. I'm in New York City. I'm in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Los Angeles, whatever. Like when we're in a big city, and a couple things, like one, the price points are going to be really high, which ultimately just means like you're going to find less distressed sellers. So like this is really important. Like one thing to keep in mind when we're doing wholesale deals, 95% of the wholesale deals are either done on properties that are only geared towards an investor. So like the one we just looked at, right? It was completely gutted. A family's not going to move into that. Or wholesale deals are going to be done in a very distressed situation or just a combination of both. And so I guess what I'm getting at is like when I'm in a market like the heart of Tampa, all these homes, like $1 million homes, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 houses. So there's a whole lot less people with financial distress. But if I go to my market in Pennsylvania, where the median home is a nice home is $200,000 and the average home is in the hundreds, and you're just dealing with people that make less money, which ultimately, if you make less money, then you're more likely to be in a financial distress situation. Does that make sense?
So it does. But at the same time, COVID shifted a whole like sector in my area, and then now that we're finding out that like a lot of city people moved out into the country, they bought these homes out there. Starting to see more and more of those go back on the market. and the price is actually starting to come down a little bit. Yeah, I'm in the Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, Spokane, Washington area, if you're familiar.
Spokane, I am. Spokane's a little tough. Steven, he's
Coeur d'Alene is pretty ritzy.
It is, yeah. But and then you start going into Montana too. There's a bunch of people that like jump ship and move to Montana, and they're like, wow, winter sucks here. But so yeah, I was just kind of curious on. There's a lot of high end homes out here for sure.
I would in the Mastermind V1 course, which you guys all have access to, I kind of like go over picking a good market. I'm gonna put this link in the chat for you guys. This is just like one thing that I talked about in the video. You really want to be in a market where, like, this is one of the criterias, where you're in a 150 to 350 median home price. I put the link in the chat. That's a whole map, and you guys could type in zip codes or type in cities, and it will tell you what the price point is. So like Tampa, it's the 350 to 550 range. These bigger cities, it's not that you're not going to be doing deals here. There's just less people hurting financially. A lot of these people are well off down here. And so you can't really expect to be doing a lot of deals with no marketing budget, or even just like a small marketing budget, because there's a lot of big fish down here too. But
well, I'm in the construction industry, and I'm looking I'm looking to build more portfolio right now. I've worked for plenty of fix and flippers, and been the subcontractor and stuff like that, and I'm just like, okay, that's great. I don't want to be a part of that really, but I just want to start building investment portfolio.
Definitely. You could, if you go in the general chat of the Discord, type in Steven @StevenJ, and he's in Spokane, Washington. I've worked closely with him, and he's doing a lot of stuff over there.
I bet you we probably run into each other @StevenJ.
Yeah, @StevenJ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's cool.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. This is my first time, so thanks for taking my question.
Yeah, definitely. And for everybody that's new, since I know a couple more of you guys popped in, anybody have any issues getting in the course or the community? All good? All right. Let's try and squeeze in a couple more deals. Ace, what's up with this one?
Well, I actually found this one on that trick that you said to go on every day on Zillow and put what's been sold for one day. And I spoke to them on that day, and the ARV on this is about 200, 210 around that area. And I offered 150 because I looked at the work inside, and I actually have a remodeling business, so I kind of could tell what it'll cost me to get it done.
Are you in Jim Thorpe too?
I'm in Lee Height, and Jim Thorpe is like 10 minutes away from me.
Okay, I'm with you.
And this house right here is like past Jim Thorpe, going towards the Poconos. It's called Albrightsville.
I've done quite a few flips right up in here. Just the Robin Hood Lakes is this community.
Yeah, I know that whole area. When I first came to Pennsylvania from New York, I moved to the Poconos. So
yeah, the Heighton's nice and quiet over there.
Oh yeah, I've had my barbershop 13 years. I'm relaxed.
Oh yeah, it's funny you bring this house up too, because when I was on TikTok the other day, I think I called him like 6 times, couldn't get him.
Oh, I got the lady. She just texted me and asked me if that my 150 was negotiable. I haven't answered her yet.
Okay, I think your ARV actually might be a little bit higher too. You said what, 220?
I said around 210.
210.
Yeah, I looked around there in houses that sold for around the same size, same type of house. They went anywhere from like 210. Actually, one was for like 220, then another one was for like 195.
I think you're up, to be honest. You're higher because this 210 right here is dated. It's not really that 2024. You know, if they had floors, nice floors going throughout, looks like maybe that's real tile, but the kitchen's dated. So like this, if it was full, bathrooms dated too. So if this was like 2024 standard, this is probably like mid twos, to be honest, at 210. And then you got a 270, no photos. 280. Let's see, we got pics on this. 280 is fair, but as we see, the kitchen is like still dated. No granite, you know, this area.
No granite, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Quartz, nothing like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe they got 280 for that. 260. I mean, dude, I think you're good going. 260 is still very conservative on that house. So if you went, let's rerun these numbers because I think you got a deal here.
Yeah, I offered them 150.
Make a lot of money if they take 150.
Well, she seems receptive and she's super cool.
If you can snag it at 150, that'd be sweet. How much in rehab were you thinking?
Rehab, the way I looked at it, because the roof, she said, is on. It has like 10 years still on it. About it's really a clean out and not that much in rehab, like walls and floors, nothing major. So I try to do like $40 a square foot, basically on the high end.
Or I'm doing probably like 50, 60 in this house. So like what I'm seeing on this, we might be a little bit lower. You do have a 2-car garage though, so
3-car, and it sits on 3 lots. So not only does it have property, it has a 3-car garage.
I'm gonna go 280 ARV, which it might even be higher, times 0.7. Let me take out 50 just to start. 174. Yeah, 150. That ain't bad at all. You're I really think 50, 60, definitely in rehab on this guy. Depends who's doing it, who's buying it. Yeah, I would say try and get the 150 is a good number. You could probably squeeze 10, 15 G's out of this one. See if you can try and get them to that 150 number.
I'm pretty sure she'll take it. But now my issue is because I have some buyers and some don't do this area. Some are not interested. So now that's my issue, getting a buyer.
Nah, we got plenty of buyers over here. We'll get this
send one my way.
Yeah, I'd say let's get it under contract, and then either myself, Terrell, or Adam, we can definitely get you a buyer.
All right, now should I have contracts, but should I use your contract?
So this is good for everybody to hear. So when you guys are doing deals with agents, they're always going to send you the state contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking to Alyssa.
Yeah, I probably even know her, but I would just tell her like, yeah, I want to do 150. Can you represent us and draw up the contract? And then she'll send you the contract. I don't know if I've done deals with her, but anyways, ask her to represent you. Tell her 150. Send us the contract. And if you get the contract, ping me in the general chat or shoot me a DM, and then I can review the agreement for you. Make sure it's all good. Yeah, that's a deal.
So what you said, when she sends me the contract, where do I send it to you at?
Just go in the, so I can pull it up. Just go in the general chat here in the Discord, and then just do like at Eric Schmidt. She sent me the contract, and then I can review it. Yeah, and I can review it with you.
Yeah,
Nice,
she's actually really cool. I mean, and I found that it was only listed 2 hours.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I get on, like you said, every day, and I type in one day. You know, you said do that shit every day, and you'll get a deal, bro. Every day I'm on it, and I switch areas.
How many days now did it take to get this one?
I spoke to her the same day, and she got back to me the same day and said, you know, 150 sounds good. Let me, you know, they had an open house, I guess. So they said they're gonna see what they get out of that. And then she texted me yesterday, and she came out and she said, "Hey, Andrew, my sellers want to know if you have room to negotiate." So I said, let me speak to my partners and I'll get back to you.
You can go to, if you have to, try to like really hold firm at 150. I think they'll probably
that's what I'm trying to hold at.
If you have to, you can go up like 5 at most, but don't be quick to like do that. So just be like, no, 155
and then
the contract.
How else I enticed her, I said, we'll cover closing cost. So when you tell them that, the seller automatically sees, oh, that's 150, full profit. You know what I'm saying? They don't got to come out of pocket just besides like taxes and shit and transfers.
Does she know you want her to represent you too?
Yeah, I just told her that.
Yeah, because that'll entice her even more. All right, perfect. I love it, dude.
Now, here's another thing real quick since you worked in this area. I have another deal going on right now, but a buddy of mine that's a wholesaler, he used this title company. So I went to them too, bro, and they dropped the ball. They fudged this deal up so bad. I gotta wait like almost another month and a half to get paid.
Who's the title company?
The title, this lady, man, I don't like judging people, but you could tell like she be having rough mornings, so she must have long nights, and she let shit slip through her fingers. And I mean, like when you run the name, you see who's on the deed.
I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on the company because I haven't used them in forever, but I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking.
And the sellers, the lady was Chinese. Her husband was in China. She's over here, but she was leaving to China. So she left to China. They had to make an appointment at the embassy in China to notarize everything, to send it. Then she forgot to tell her that she had to do a, what is that thing called? I'll tell you right now the name of it. An apostle with it, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah.
And she didn't, so now it's gonna take a couple of weeks to get it back to her and a couple of weeks to come back. And that's 10 grand of mine sitting on the table, like waiting for that shit.
I remember this deal. This deal was like a month and a half ago, right? I remember you brought it up.
Bro, it's been about
Like 2 months,
a month and change already.
Yeah, I remember this deal. You brought it up. I was surprised.
But
you
here's the
haven't
thing:
even
I made the buyers put the EMD down. I mean, and I did it non-refundable, so they're not backing out because my inspection period, I put it for 20 days. Today is the 20th day, so I would have had to cancel today. But I'm not. I'm just saying, fuck it, let it ride.
Yeah, well, the thing is too, like if you assigned it, then you don't have to cancel. But sometimes, like this will happen a lot, where the title company is taking longer to get things ready to close, which is fine. The deal is automatically going to extend out if the title company is the reason for the delay.
It is the title company. My man that uses them, they close deals in a week, 7 days.
I wouldn't sweat that then. The best one to use is Parkland Abstract. They got an office in Stroudsburg, and then
and I use
in Allentown.
What the hell's the name? So another one, Abstract.
Parkland Abstract is the go-to.
Parkland Abstract. Let me write that
They're really
down.
really good over there.
So they know all about assignments and all that.
Yeah, they're awesome. Good friends with the owner. Guys,
So thank you for helping me on that house.
Yeah, for sure. We're a little bit over. Let's do this. I have to wrap this up because I'm late for another meeting. I'm going to do an extra Zoom with you guys tomorrow, and we'll do more deal help. So you guys got Zoom with Terrell in the morning, and then let's just plan, stay on the lookout in the general chat. I'll do an extra meeting with you guys tomorrow too, if that's cool. That way we can keep helping you guys to get these deals done.
Hey, Eric.
We'll be able to go on for a while tomorrow.
We can show them how to run numbers tomorrow, and also on that multifamily, like Lauren, to use that as like stepping stone for them to see how AM calculator works, stuff like that.
We could spend some good time because we only got through like half the deals today. So let's do that. Try and hop on Terrell's Zoom tomorrow for those of you guys wholesaling, and then I'll let you guys probably know tonight what time we could do tomorrow, and then obviously we'll do Zoom Friday too. The rest of the week. So we'll just we'll squeeze an extra Zoom in tomorrow for you guys. All righty.
Hey, Eric, before you go, could you just check your DMs in Discord? And then I think the only thing I really need to do is just get to a 5-year with that balloon. And I think that's
I
pretty
don't
much
even see you in my DMs.
I just DM'd you probably like 30 minutes ago.
What's the
J2 black icon, white
Oh, I
symbol.
always mix you up. I still don't see you though. You sure you DM me?
Yeah, it's you.
Eric, I'm gonna add you on Discord.
Yeah, for sure. There we go. I don't know why it wasn't popping up. All right, so I can help you really, really quick on this. What's the situation?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, got you. I really just want to see if you might have a buyer for it, but I think that just to double check, that's what they sent back to me as a counter, and I think I need to counter back it because I put it for 4 to 7 years in terms of balloon, and I think I might be able to get a 5, but I don't think I can get a 5 or 7 year out of that.
The down payment's really big. What's the NOI on it?
Right now, they don't really owe anything. So I mean, as far as that, I really just have the rent roll and just what the taxes are. It's like 36 or so for the month.
I gotta spend some like real time because I don't want to just spit something out and tell you the wrong thing. Will you be able to hop on Zoom tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I sent you most of the particulars in the DM, so you have all that. You have everything I have.
All right, I'll try and look at that too. I'm late for it now, but I'm gonna be out there for like 2.5 hours. So once I'm out of there, if I can, I'll look at it. If not, just hop on tomorrow. Then we could spend like real time going over it.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. I'll stay posted in the general chat. I'll ping you guys and yeah, try and hop on Terrell's in the morning, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you, man.
Terrell's gonna have fun tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, I'll see you guys.
Let's leave here. I'm coming down there. Bye.